Because you listen to this podcast, here's a few things that I know about you. You're the type of person who likes to learn. You're the type of person who likes to go deep. You're the type of person who is constantly seeking growth. If you guys are looking for those things, this is the episode to listen to. I'm telling you, I have done so many retreats, books, workshops, therapy, coaching sessions, you name it. And this is one of my most favorite tools I have used to date. This is the episode for you guys. Episode 53, Letters to My Past Self. Welcome to Healing with Haley. I'm your coach, Haley Kirk. On this podcast, we dive into ways to heal, embrace, and truly love our lives. Here's my belief. So much of our suffering comes from what we believe. I'm here to help you understand your mind and question those thoughts to start your healing journey. Ready to get started? Let's go. Hello, my friends. It is Thursday at 11:26 p.m. To say I am a night owl is the understatement of the year, but I just finished an exercise that I feel so compelled to share my experience with it. So I have a coach, and she challenged us to write a letter to our past self. And, I think as a coach myself, I know I notice my clients kind of do the exercise or homework, right? Like, more work on top of all the things we're supposed to be doing, all the habits we're trying to check off our boxes for. So it's interesting being on the receiving end of that and doing the eye roll and the whatever feeling. But I allowed myself to have the eye roll moments, but then gave it a whirl. And I'm actually gonna read you guys my letter. I don't know why. I'm feeling sappy and goopy and yummy, and I want to be extra vulnerable tonight, I guess. But I guess what I really want, or the purpose or the intention that I'm coming away post writing this letter is, it's this compassion and empathy piece that I think has been missing from present self. And it's so easy to listen and believe, right? Our brains that operate on this repetitive cycle of negativity and judgment. And it's kind of cruel, honestly. That voice is not so kind, is it? Our survival brain. So I also want to invite you guys to do a letter to your past self as well. And, it's kind of funny. I love how when she gave me the assignment, it was very open-ended. She didn't tell me to go to a traumatic event. She didn't tell me to go to a beautiful event in the past. It's just generic and broad and past self. And I think the more you try to dissect the exercise, the more you try to give it descriptors or commands, I think that it takes away from the organic process your brain kind of goes through. Like, what is your brain going to go to immediately when you think of your past? And, we, from psychology, we know it would typically go to something negative first, unless you have a priming daily exercise where it goes to the positive. So I definitely recommend doing this when you're alone and it's quiet. For me, that happens to be at 11:30 at night. So I really recommend it. I cried a bunch. Like, my table where my laptop is wet from my tears. And they're beautiful tears. They really are. I love crying. I think crying is such a beautiful thing that happens in our body. It's like a release. And I love that I can easily cry. I know that there are people that are a little more neutral when it comes to depth of feeling and emotion. And I love that that's something that's inherent in me. I feel very intensely and strongly and deeply, and I love those parts of me. So I wouldn't really ask too many questions. I would just kind of like put pen to paper and give yourself, sometimes it's nice to have a timer or like a distraction free zone. So for me, I'm, on my dining room table, which is my podcast area. It's like the area where I'm like, get shit done right here. And quiet, distraction free, pen and paper, no devices, just get to work. What also helped me is I went on Apple Music and I put this playlist. I'll share it in the description, but it's a peaceful playlist. I just love listening to peaceful music. It incites peaceful feelings, if you know what I mean, inside of myself. So I recommend it. I recommend those, setting up your environment in that way to do this exercise. I also want to, you're going to hear the full letter that I write, but towards the end, man, I was just sobbing. I was sobbing, but in a beautiful way. And it was this parenting energy I had for myself. Like it was this I got you energy, and it felt so safe and secure and relieving and light to do that. And how healing it is to kind of talk to yourself in that way. And it was definitely an emotional release for me. I feel like I'm more clear, and it's it's so interesting because a lot of my favorite spiritual leaders like Byron Katie and Michael Singer, Eckhart Tolle, these folks, they talk about ego constantly going into past future, and how a lot of times past future is an egoic part of our brain that's trying to kind of pull us out of the present moment, right? And Eckhart Tolle wrote, The Power of Now. And his focus is, stay in the present, stay in the present, stay in the present. And it is interesting how much we do go to the past, and almost it doesn't serve us a lot of the time. I think that a lot of the time we either pull a really beautiful memory, but to compare it to our present, meaning like, oh, if only I could have the body I had when I was in high school, or if only I could have that partner now, my life would be so much better. So I think that I think our natural autopilot brain likes to pull from the past to kind of justify or explain why we're feeling the way we're feeling, which is usually probably a negative emotion, right? Like uncertainty, fear. And so I think it's interesting to know, right, that we want to we it would benefit us greatly to have a lot of peace regarding our past. And a lot of times when we argue with a past, that's another distortion of reality. And let's say we made a mistake in the past, for example, a big mistake, a huge mistake. If you guys remember, I talked about one of my greatest regrets was missing my best friend's wedding out of spite and vengeance. And I use that example because it was something that I judged myself for, but I was supposed to miss that wedding because I did. And now it transformed transformed my friendship. It transformed the way I view friendship. It is something that I can, with a surety, look back on and be like, nope, we're never acting that way again. It's definitely a reminder, and kind of like true north, right? Or like like repels to true north. It's like, oh, yep, that's south. Nope, we're going to go the opposite direction from that moment of our lives. So, yeah, I think that it's also kind of interesting to remember that these spiritual leaders, especially Byron Katie, she talks about how the past can be imagination as well as the future. Think about that for a second. The past and the future are imagination land. Like, it's kind of wild to think. And have you ever told a story or even had a friend tell a story and they've told it so many times that they like embellished a detail or omitted a detail even, and you're like, wait, that's not how it goes. Or like, you know, and it's interesting. It's kind of the game of telephone, right? But with ourselves. So each time we recant the story, it's a little different. And I just think that's an important perspective to keep in mind, that maybe it's possible that there are parts of our past that we're not remembering accurately, or there might be some details we've forgotten over time or changed over time. And not to say that our past isn't important at all, but what is most important is this present moment. And it's so interesting watching our brains in present moment. And you guys are going to think I'm weird, but there was this, I really took it upon myself to try present moment exercises. And there was this moment where I was embracing this experience I had where in the summers I would take my son for walks, and then we would go to this creek right by my house. It was right behind an elementary school, and it's beautiful. It has these trees that overlook it. You kind of go down this like rocky path, and you kind of have to do a little jump over these gorgeous sticking out roots from the tree. There's a little bit of a beach bay where the water is very shallow and then it goes deeper, and it's just beautiful. It's this beautiful area that my son and I would go to when the weather is warm and no mosquitoes. It's just so blissful. And I would sit on this rock, and I kid you not, I was just embracing each moment. And I started to sense and see things in vibrations. It was so weird. You're going to think I'm on drugs or something, but I swear to you, I wasn't. I was very sober in a present moment, and I felt vibrations just everywhere. And it was a little bit like time slowed down, just like a fraction of a second. And I just, yeah, it was like frequency vibrations. I would explain what it felt and saw. And I think that I had that experience for a reason. And I was listening, literally listening to Byron Katie as this was happening. And just kind of dozed off into a present moment. And it's kind of such a beautiful gift that you can give people, your undivided attention, one, but also a present mind, right? Where it's not thinking about what it's going to say next, or thinking about the past or the future, or what they have to do next after this. I mean, what a gift you could give someone, to be totally in a moment and out of your head, in your body, in that space and time with one human being. That's total intimacy. And so I make a case for the present and I think writing a letter to your past is, in a way, in a kind way, like a goodbye letter. That's what it felt. That's my experience with it. It doesn't have to be that way, but that's what it was for me. And I really love it. It was this love letter, goodbye letter. So I would love to know what you guys experience. And I want to kind of give you guys some prompts just in case you're blanking on ideas. I did a few things like, I'm so proud of you for, I forgive you, I thank you for, and I didn't say this one, but this one came to mind. I wish you had known, dot, dot, dot. And yeah, this is just a really great way to build self-compassion, empathy, and healing from the past, confront limiting belief systems. I just really think it gives us that hindsight, our past self and present self. It's such a great, cool exercise. I definitely recommend you do it. Let me know your experience. So here we go. Here's my letter. I can't believe I'm doing this. Hi, Haley. There are many phases of you that I look at and am just inspired by you. I love the way you've grown. I love how you always took what came at you and tried deeply to hold true to your values. I think you learned that from Dad. This is hard for me. I don't like some parts of our past. And honest, they're very scary and traumatizing and hard. And nothing all that serious happened. Can you imagine? I love you for starting an anti-human trafficking club, Humans Against Trafficking, the Hat Club. I love your activism and passion for what you believe is right. I love how you boldly say something is wrong. You are so strong. You are long-suffering and you love so greatly, so deeply. You grew up in a home where you were told kind things, and I love you. Your life as a 32-year-old is bliss. Your baby daddy Ben is an angel. He pays his child support and watches Israel. He loves Israel. Israel's your son. You had a vision of him while you were in China. You are a heels teacher and find ways to make money and pay bills in a very creative way. I'm so proud of you, of both present and past you. In 2022, you made a big leap of faith and moved to Maryland. I'm proud of you for being so brave and reckless. You took a calculated risk. You relied on people you trusted. You made all the right decisions, and I love you for it. I really love you, Haley. I've been there during such beautiful times and such horrible times, dark times. It's been rough, but somehow you found a way to push through all that shit. You did that for you, no one else. You healed you. You made all the differences. You opened your mind, you opened your heart, you received messages and soaked them in. You are courageous, Haley. Wow. I love all the parts of you, Haley. When you became a paranoid freak after a betrayal, the uncertain one in the room after your divorce, the weak one after your postpartum. I love all versions of you, the one floating on cloud nine and in love. I'm honestly so proud and in awe. You have changed from your high school self to college self to married self, divorced self to girlfriend self, single mommy. You are still very much your bubbly, happy-go-lucky self, but with some scars and tears. Nothing that hasn't made you stronger and better. Let me tell past me, you got nothing to worry about. You did amazing. Let me take it from here. I got you. Rest, my love. Your time has passed and I will take the load from here. It's not a load, really, more of an SD card of lessons, memories, experiences to treasure and hold dear and remember in times of need. Thank you for being so real and raw and brave. You don't hold back. You live your life with tons of intention and presence. We're keeping that skill with us. I know there's so much you worry about. Who will be your life partner? Who will create a family with you? I will, Haley. I will always be there for you. I'm going to take care of you and Israel with all the energy and might of my body and soul. We are strong, and we keep getting stronger mentally, physically, and emotionally. I don't have all the answers, and I don't need them to know that I will make this life of ours as magical and fun and inspiring as possible. Rest, Past Healy. Your work is done. Be free. I release any burden or judgments I've had on you. You were the star of the show. Now it's my turn. I love you. Oh, even the reread gets me. You guys, I think I wanted to share that with you because it's like giving yourself your own therapy. It's being your own guru, your own life coach, your own best friend. And when we can look at our past with compassion and, she did what she did with what she knew and what she could, our best is going to look so different. And I invite you to do this exercise if you're really looking to start a journey of self-love, self-awareness, self-compassion. This is the exercise for you. Have an amazing, amazing day, my loves. Are you sick of having these New Year's goals and then 2025 or the new year runs around and you're already a month in and you're just not even on track with any of your goals? Let me help you. I have systematically done so many of my own goals, like eradicating $32,000 of student debt in addition to over $15,000 of credit card debt. I have built businesses. I have accomplished minor things like getting my own splits. So I have a proven system to help you accomplish your goals. And if you work with me, I would love to help you accomplish those goals with the tools that I have. Join my coaching program. We're going to have so much fun together. What you're going to get is 2 private coaching sessions each month. We're going to dedicate an entire year of a game plan of all the things that you want to accomplish, as well as you're going to have a private podcast feed that's going to give you the recordings of each of those workshops so that you can have throughout the program. Join me and we can do a discovery call. Click the link. I would love to meet you and greet you and make this 2025 year the most epic it has been.